Chosen one, listen to me carefully. I have an urgent and powerful message to share today. This message is not for everyone. If you are not walking the divine path of God, if your spirit does not seek truth, purpose, and alignment with Him, then this message is not meant for you. But if you are a true follower of God, if you have felt different your entire life, if your soul has always known there is more, then you are exactly where you are supposed to be. This message has reached you at the perfect time, not by accident, not by chance, but by divine appointment. Chosen one, you have been shrinking for too long. You have been dimming the very light God placed inside you. And today, God wants you to understand this truth clearly. Your light is not a weakness. It is a divine weapon. The more you shrink, the more the world grows louder. The more you rise, the more heaven moves through you. Stay with me till the end, because what I am about to share will bring clarity, peace, and strength to your spirit. This is not motivation. This is spiritual alignment. Before we continue, chosen ones, give a like to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tap the bell icon, share this message with other chosen ones, and comment 777 to declare that you are aligned with the mission God has placed upon your life.
The silent pattern. Why chosen ones learn to shrink. Chosen one, let me speak to you calmly and clearly now. What you are about to hear is not accusation. It is explanation. And for many of you, it will feel like relief. Because for years you have carried questions about yourself that no one ever answered properly. You wondered why you felt the need to hold back, why you learned to stay quiet, why you often sensed your presence was too much for certain people, even when you did nothing wrong. This pattern did not begin yesterday. It did not begin when you became an adult. It began early, very early. Most chosen ones were sensitive long before they had language for it. You noticed things others ignored. You felt atmospheres. You read emotions without being taught. And instead of being protected for this gift, many of you were corrected, dismissed, or misunderstood for it. So your nervous system learned a lesson. It learned that being fully yourself was unsafe. When a chosen one enters a world that does not know how to handle light, the world tries to dim it. Not always through cruelty, often through subtle correction. You were told to calm down, to be realistic, to stop asking questions, to stop dreaming so big. You were praised when you complied, when you stayed small, when you made others comfortable. And slowly, shrinking became a survival skill. I want you to understand something important. Shrinking was not weakness. Shrinking was intelligence. It was your spirit adapting to an environment that did not know how to nurture you. But what protected you then is now suffocating you. Many chosen ones grew up being the emotional container for others. You learned to read the room before speaking. You learned to soften your truth. You learned to lower your voice, not just physically but spiritually. You became the peacemaker, the observer, the one who carried depth quietly. And while others learned how to take up space, you learned how to disappear without leaving. This is why, even now, you may hesitate before expressing yourself fully. You overthink your words. You minimize your achievements. You feel guilt when you shine. Not because you are arrogant, but because somewhere along the way, your system associated visibility with danger. Chosen one, let me be very direct with you. The reason you learned to shrink is because your presence was powerful before you even understood it. Children with light are often targeted, not because they are doing something wrong, but because their energy disrupts unconscious systems. Even adults around you may have felt exposed, challenged, or uncomfortable without knowing why. So you adapted. You became agreeable. You became low profile. You learned to carry wisdom quietly. And for a season, this was necessary. God allows certain coverings for certain seasons. But hear me now. A covering can become a cage if you stay inside it too long. Another reason chosen ones shrink is spiritual loneliness. You noticed early that not everyone thinks like you. Not everyone feels deeply. Not everyone seeks meaning. So you stopped trying to explain yourself. You stopped sharing your inner world because it was rarely understood. Over time, silence became easier than being misinterpreted. But silence, when prolonged, turns inward. It becomes self-doubt. You begin to question your own perceptions. You second-guess what God shows you. You ask for validation for things you already know in your spirit. This is not because you lack faith. It is because you were trained to distrust your inner authority. Chosen one, shrinking is not always about fear of others. Sometimes it is fear of your own magnitude. Because deep down, you know that if you fully step into who you are, your life will change. Relationships will shift, certain doors will close, certain people will fall away. And that unknown feels heavy, even when it is holy. So you tell yourself, now is not the time. You say, I will wait until I feel more ready. But readiness does not come from hiding. Readiness comes from obedience. I have watched many chosen ones confuse humility with invisibility. They think staying small honors God. But humility is not pretending you have no light. Humility is acknowledging the source of that light and allowing it to flow without ego. Shrinking is not humility. Shrinking is hesitation. And let me say this gently. Some of you have been shrinking not because others demanded it, but because it became familiar. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar expansion. You know how to survive small spaces. You know how to navigate being overlooked. But thriving requires a different posture, and the body resists change, even when the soul craves it. This is why stepping into your calling feels uncomfortable, not because it is wrong, but because it is new. Expansion stretches identity. It asks you to release old versions of yourself that were built for protection, not purpose. Chosen one, God did not make a mistake when He placed light inside you, and He did not intend for you to carry it like a secret. The same God who allowed you to be hidden for a season is now calling you forward, not aggressively, not forcefully, but clearly. You are not broken for shrinking. You are simply outgrowing the version of yourself that learned to survive in the shadows. And that is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be honored and then released. Take a breath here. Let your shoulders relax. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time. But the season of shrinking is ending. And the awareness you are gaining right now is the first sign that your spirit is preparing to stand fully upright again. This is not about becoming loud. It is about becoming whole. And wholeness requires space. Stay with me. What comes next will help you understand why your light has always felt heavy to carry and why it was never meant to be hidden in the first place. Spiritual warfare in disguise. When your light threatens darkness. Chosen one, now we go deeper. And I need you to listen without fear. What you have experienced is not random, and it is not personal in the way you once thought. Much of what has tried to silence you was not about you as a person, but about what you carry. When light enters a room, darkness does not argue, it reacts. And many of you have lived your entire lives inside those reactions without knowing what they truly were. Spiritual warfare is rarely dramatic. It does not always look like chaos or open conflict. Most of the time, it hides behind confusion, misinterpretation, and subtle resistance. You walk into a space with pure intentions, and suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. People become uneasy. Conversations change. You feel tension without explanation. This is not imagination. This is spiritual sensitivity recognizing opposition. Your light exposes things without accusation. It reveals truth without speaking. And that is precisely why it threatens darkness. Darkness survives through hiding. Light removes hiding places. So when you arrive, even silently, unresolved things inside others begin to stir. And instead of facing themselves, they project onto you. This is why chosen ones are often labeled incorrectly. You have been called arrogant when you were simply confident in God. You have been called distant when you were discerning. You have been called intense when you were present. These labels were not truth. They were defenses. Let me tell you something important. When people cannot control light, they try to control the one who carries it. They do this through guilt, through criticism, through making you question yourself. Slowly, subtly, you begin to dim yourself so you can belong. And that is exactly how warfare succeeds without ever revealing itself. Chosen one, warfare does not always come as attack. Sometimes it comes as discouragement. Sometimes it comes as distraction. Sometimes it comes as the voice that says, just stay quiet. It's easier. But ease is not always peace, and silence is not always safety. You were never meant to fight darkness by confronting it directly. Light does not wrestle. Light simply stands. And standing is what the enemy tries to prevent. Because once you stand fully, you stop apologizing for your presence. You stop shrinking to maintain harmony. And false harmony is a fragile thing. I want you to notice something. The more aligned you became with God, the more resistance appeared. Not louder resistance, quieter. People pulling away, opportunities closing, energy shifting. And you may have thought you were doing something wrong. But often, resistance increases right before clarity arrives. This is why many chosen ones retreat just before breakthrough. They interpret opposition as a sign to stop. But in the spiritual realm, opposition often confirms direction. Darkness does not respond to what is harmless. It responds to what threatens its control. Let me ground you here. This is not about paranoia. This is about discernment. Not everyone who misunderstands you is against you, but patterns matter. Repeated resistance to your authenticity is not coincidence. It is indication. When you shine, you activate spiritual contrasts. Those walking in truth will feel drawn to you. Those avoiding truth will feel uncomfortable. And neither reaction is your responsibility. Your responsibility is alignment, not approval. Chosen one, I want you to release this belief that you must soften your light to keep peace. Peace that requires you to disappear is not peace, it is suppression, and suppression always costs the soul. There are people who benefited from your silence, from your shrinking, from your hesitation, and they may resist your expansion because it disrupts their comfort. That does not make them evil, it makes them unready, and you must not lower yourself to match another's unwillingness to grow. Let me say this clearly. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being targeted because you are effective, even when you feel tired, even when you feel unsure. Light works whether it feels powerful or not. This is why the enemy's strategy is subtle. If it were obvious, you would resist it immediately. So instead, it whispers doubt. It questions your calling. It delays your obedience. And if it cannot stop you, it tries to exhaust you. But hear me now. Fatigue does not mean defeat. Confusion does not mean failure. And resistance does not mean rejection. Often it means you are exactly where you are meant to be. Chosen one, spiritual warfare is not about fighting harder. It is about standing firmer. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop proving your purity, when you stop shrinking to manage others' discomfort, that is when warfare loses ground. Your light is not aggressive, it is authoritative. And authority does not need volume, it needs alignment. Take a breath here. Feel your body settle. You are not in danger, you are in transition. And transitions always expose what can no longer coexist with who you are becoming. In the next part, I will show you what happens when shrinking becomes a habit and why God is now calling you to release it. Not because you failed, but because you are ready. Chosen one, I want you to understand something that will bring calm to your spirit. Spiritual warfare does not mean you are constantly under threat. It means you are constantly significant, and significance attracts attention in both realms. This is why some of you feel watched, evaluated, or measured even when no one says anything. Light draws observation. Darkness studies what it cannot extinguish. There were moments when you walked away confused, replaying conversations in your mind, wondering what you did wrong. Let me free you from that cycle right now. Often, nothing you said was wrong, nothing you did was offensive. Your clarity simply disrupted someone else's comfort with illusion, and illusion hates clarity more than it hates confrontation. This is also why chosen ones often experience delayed recognition. Your gifts are evident, but acknowledgement comes slowly. Not because you lack value, but because recognizing you would require others to confront their own stagnation. And many people are not ready for that mirror. So instead, they downplay you, they overlook you, they pretend not to see what is obvious. And if you are not careful, you begin to mirror that blindness toward yourself. You start questioning what God has already confirmed. That is where shrinking becomes dangerous. Not because others doubt you, but because you start to doubt yourself. Hear me carefully now. Doubt is one of the quietest weapons used against chosen ones. Not doubt in God, but doubt in what God placed within you. When you hesitate to trust your discernment, your timing, your calling, you slow down the very work heaven is trying to do through you. But the moment you recognize this pattern, its power weakens. Awareness breaks cycles. And right now, awareness is rising in you. You are seeing clearly why resistance followed your obedience, why confusion followed your growth, why shrinking followed moments of spiritual expansion. This is not punishment. This is transition. And when transition begins, warfare changes form. It no longer tries to stop you completely. It tries to make you stop yourself. But that season is ending, because you are no longer unaware. And light that understands itself becomes unstoppable. Stay with me. What you are about to hear next will help you release the habit of shrinking without guilt, fear, or force. You are not being pushed. You are being invited. The cost of shrinking. What happens when you dim God's gift? Chosen one, let me speak to you with honesty and care now. Not to shame you, not to pressure you, but to bring clarity to something many of you feel but rarely name. Shrinking always has a cost, not immediately, not loudly, but quietly. Over time, it begins to drain parts of you that were meant to stay alive. When you dim what God placed inside you, the first thing that suffers is your peace. You may still smile, you may still function, you may still show up and do what is required of you. But inside, there is a low-level unrest, a constant feeling that something is off. Not dramatic enough to explain easily, just enough to make rest feel incomplete. This is because your soul knows when it is living below its calling. Chosen one, God's gifts are not decorations. They are assignments. And when an assignment is ignored for too long, the soul begins to feel heavy. You might call it anxiety. You might call it confusion. You might call it burnout. But very often, it is unexpressed purpose pressing from within. Another cost of shrinking is emotional exhaustion. When you constantly manage yourself to keep others comfortable, you spend energy you never get back. You monitor your words. You filter your truth. You hold back insight. Over time, this creates fatigue that sleep cannot fix. Because it is not physical tiredness, it is spiritual depletion. You were not designed to carry light and never let it shine. Many chosen ones tell me they feel stuck, not because they lack ability, not because they lack faith, but because they feel disconnected from momentum. Life feels like effort without flow. Prayer feels repetitive. Motivation comes in waves and disappears just as quickly. This happens when alignment is delayed too long. Shrinking delays alignment. Let me say this gently but clearly. When you hide what God gave you, you unintentionally block the pathways through which blessing moves. Not because God is punishing you, but because blessings are often tied to obedience. And obedience includes visibility. Some of you are confused because doors feel closed. But the truth is, certain doors only open when you show up as you are, not as who you think others can tolerate. Another cost of shrinking is loss of joy. Not happiness, joy. That deep, grounded sense of rightness that does not depend on circumstances. Joy flows when you are congruent, when who you are on the inside matches how you live on the outside. Shrinking creates misalignment, and misalignment always dulls joy. You may still experience moments of excitement, but they fade quickly, because your spirit is constantly adjusting itself downward. And a spirit that is always adjusting downward cannot sustain joy. Chosen one, shrinking also affects your clarity. When you stop trusting your inner authority, you begin outsourcing your discernment. You ask others what you already know. You seek permission for things God has already confirmed. Over time, this creates confusion, not because God stopped speaking, but because you stopped listening to what he already said. This is how chosen ones become spiritually noisy inside. Too many voices, too many opinions, too many doubts layered over truth, and the original clarity gets buried. Let me be very honest here. One of the greatest costs of shrinking is resentment, not always toward others, often toward yourself. You look back and wonder what might have been if you had spoken sooner, if you had trusted yourself more, if you had taken that step when God nudged you. That quiet regret builds slowly, and if left unchecked, it turns into bitterness. Not loud bitterness, silent bitterness. The kind that makes you withdraw, the kind that makes you numb, the kind that convinces you it's safer not to hope too much. But chosen one, that is not the life God designed for you. Shrinking also affects your body. Yes, your body. The nervous system holds unexpressed truth as tension, tight shoulders, shallow breathing, chronic stress. Your body knows when you are holding back, because holding back requires constant vigilance, and vigilance keeps the system on alert. God did not create you to live in constant alert mode. He created you to live from rest, even while moving with purpose. Another cost many do not realize is spiritual stagnation. When you do not step forward, your growth plateaus, not because you stop believing, but because belief without action becomes repetition. You hear the same messages, you pray the same prayers, you feel inspired, but not transformed. Transformation requires movement. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Shrinking does not make you safer, it only makes you smaller. And smallness was never your calling. Safety does not come from hiding. Safety comes from alignment, from being where God placed you, doing what he asked, standing as he formed you. You may have believed that shrinking protected you from conflict, but unresolved purpose creates internal conflict that is far more exhausting. At least external challenges move and change. Internal suppression just sits there, pressing quietly. I'm not saying this to rush you. I'm saying this to awaken you, because the cost of shrinking is not just personal. It affects others too. There are people who are meant to be healed by your presence, encouraged by your words, strengthened by your example. And when you hide, they go without what God intended to send through you. This is not pressure, this is value. Chosen one, if you feel a heaviness lifting just by hearing this, that is your spirit recognizing truth. You are not broken, you are not lazy, you are not behind, you are simply carrying something that has outgrown its hiding place. Take a slow breath, let it settle. God is not disappointed in you, he is patient. But patience does not mean permanence. Seasons change, and the season of shrinking is reaching its limit. In the next part, I will help you understand why your light was never meant to be dimmed and why stepping into it is not pride but obedience. Your light is not ego. It is a divine weapon. Chosen one, this is where many of you have been trapped without realizing it. Not by fear alone, but by misunderstanding. You were taught, directly or indirectly, that stepping into your light meant becoming prideful. That confidence was dangerous. That visibility equaled ego. And because you love God, you chose restraint. But restraint, when misunderstood, becomes resistance to your own calling. Let me correct this gently and clearly. Ego says, "Look at me." Divine authority says, "Look at what God can do through me." They are not the same. Ego demands attention. Light commands presence. and presence does not need permission. You did not imagine your strength. God placed it there, and He did not place it there for decoration. He placed it there for impact. When God gives light, He expects it to illuminate, not to hide behind false humility. Chosen one, humility is not shrinking. Humility is alignment. It is knowing exactly who you are and knowing exactly who you are not. You are not the source, but you are the vessel. And a vessel that refuses to pour is not humble, it is blocked. Some of you feel uncomfortable when others notice you, when your words carry weight, when your insight changes a room. You immediately downplay it. You laugh it off. You redirect attention. Not because you want praise, but because you fear crossing an invisible line. That line was never drawn by God. God never asked you to apologize for His gift. Let me say something bold, because you need to hear it. Playing small does not honor God. Using what He gave you does. The enemy does not fear your silence. He benefits from it. He fears alignment, confidence rooted in obedience, and light that refuses to be negotiated. Your light is a weapon not because it attacks, but because it disrupts lies. Lies thrive in darkness. Truth dissolves them quietly. This is why your presence shifts environments, why your words linger, why people remember how they felt around you, even if they cannot explain why. Chosen one, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand firm, not above others, not against others, but anchored in God. Many of you were taught that strength and softness cannot coexist, that if you are firm, you are unloving, that if you are clear, you are cold. That is not biblical. Jesus was gentle and unmovable, compassionate and authoritative, loving and direct. And you are made in that image. Your light heals some and exposes others. Both are necessary. Healing brings comfort. Exposure brings opportunity for repentance. You are not responsible for how others respond. You are responsible for staying aligned. Let me address another lie. Confidence does not mean you never doubt. It means you move even when doubt whispers. Ego seeks validation. Authority does not. Authority rests. Chosen one, when you walk into your calling, you will not feel inflated. You will feel grounded, calm, clear, present. Ego is loud and restless. Divine authority is quiet and steady. If what you are feeling is heaviness lifting, peace increasing, clarity sharpening, that is not pride, that is alignment. Some of you fear that if you fully step into your light, you will lose relationships. And you are right. You will lose relationships that were sustained by your silence, but you will gain alignment, and alignment always attracts what is real. Let me be very clear here. You are not meant to be everyone's answer. You are meant to be obedient to God. And obedience sometimes looks like standing when others prefer you sit. Your light becomes a weapon the moment you stop negotiating it. The moment you stop asking, "Is this okay?" and start asking, "Is this aligned?" Alignment simplifies everything. Chosen one, there is nothing sinful about clarity. There is nothing arrogant about knowing who you are in God. There is nothing selfish about fulfilling the assignment He placed on your life. The real danger is burying it. You have spent enough time questioning whether you are allowed to take up space. You are. God created space for you. You are not invading it. You are occupying what was prepared. Take a breath here. Feel how calm strength feels. Not rushed, not loud, just present. In the next part, I will guide you through how chosen ones stop shrinking in daily life, not by force, but by posture. Not by proving, but by standing. Chosen one, I want you to notice something subtle but powerful. Every time you felt the urge to shrink, it was not because your light was harmful. It was because it was effective. Light does not need to announce itself to be noticed. Its impact is immediate, and impact makes unprepared people uncomfortable. This is why you were often told to be patient when you were already prepared, to wait when you were already called, to soften when you were already gentle. These were not instructions from God. They were reflections of others' limitations. Let me ground you in truth. God does not anoint confusion. He anoints clarity. And clarity naturally looks like confidence to those who live in uncertainty. When you speak with certainty rooted in God, you are not overpowering anyone. You are offering direction. What they do with it is their choice. Chosen one, your light becomes a divine weapon when you stop using it defensively. When you no longer shine to prove, convince, or justify. When you simply exist as you are, grounded and aligned. Defensive light flickers, anchored light remains. You may have noticed that when you stop explaining yourself, peace increases. When you stop chasing understanding, clarity follows. This is not coincidence. This is authority settling into place. Authority does not argue. It allows truth to stand on its own. Some of you are afraid that stepping fully into your light will make you isolated. But isolation is not the same as solitude. Isolation drains. Solitude strengthens. God often pulls chosen ones into seasons of solitude so their authority can mature without interference. When you emerge, you do not seek validation. You offer stability. Let me say this plainly. You are not meant to convince the world. You are meant to anchor truth within it. And anchors do not move to accommodate waves. They hold steady so others can orient themselves. Chosen one, your light does not need permission. It already has assignment. And when you finally stop apologizing for who God made you to be, something profound happens. Resistance loses energy, confusion clears, fear quiets. This is not because opposition disappears. It is because you are no longer feeding it with hesitation. Your light is not ego. It is obedience in motion. It is truth embodied. And once you understand that, shrinking no longer feels like humility. It feels like disobedience. And that awareness, chosen one, is the beginning of your expansion. Activation phase. How chosen ones stop shrinking in real life. Chosen one, now we move from understanding into activation. Not force, not pressure, activation. This is where many messages stop, but we do not stop here, because awareness without embodiment only creates frustration. And God is not calling you to merely understand your calling. He is calling you to live it. Let me say this first, so your spirit can relax. Stopping the habit of shrinking does not require you to become louder, harsher, or someone you are not. In fact, the more you align, the calmer you become. Expansion is not aggressive. It is grounded. The first shift happens internally, not externally. You stop shrinking the moment you stop asking for permission to exist as you are. This does not mean you stop being kind. It means you stop negotiating your truth. You stop pre-editing yourself before God has even spoken. Chosen one, many of you shrink before anything even happens. You anticipate discomfort, you imagine rejection, you assume misunderstanding, and so you adjust in advance. This is where the cycle begins. Activation starts when you stay present instead of predicting outcomes. When God nudges you to speak, you speak without rehearsing how it will be received. When He asks you to step forward, you move without calculating who may disapprove. This does not mean recklessness. It means trust. Trust that obedience carries its own protection. Another way chosen ones stop shrinking is by letting silence work for them instead of against them. You do not need to fill every pause. You do not need to explain every decision. Silence, when chosen consciously, becomes authority. It communicates certainty without defense. Pay attention to this. The more aligned you become, the less you feel the need to justify yourself. Justification is often a sign of insecurity. Authority simply stands. And when you stop explaining yourself, those who are testing your boundaries lose interest. Because there is nothing to push against. Boundaries are another key part of activation. And I want to be very clear here. Boundaries are not walls. They are clarity. They tell others where you end and where they begin. Chosen ones often struggle here because they confuse boundaries with rejection. But boundaries are acts of stewardship. You are stewarding your energy, your peace, your calling. In real life, this may look simple. Saying no without a long explanation, choosing rest without guilt, leaving conversations that drain you without apologizing. You are not being unloving, you are being aligned. Chosen one of the most powerful activations is learning to stay grounded when others react. Not everyone will celebrate your expansion. Some will test it, some will challenge it, some will ignore it. Your work is not to manage their response. Your work is to remain rooted. When you stop shrinking, reactions may intensify briefly. This is normal. It is like adjusting a light in a dark room. The eyes resist before they adapt. Do not interpret resistance as a sign to retreat. Interpret it as adjustment taking place. Another practical shift is how you speak, not the volume, the clarity. You stop adding disclaimers. You stop minimizing your insight. You stop saying things like, "This might sound silly," or "I'm not sure," but when you are sure, speak cleanly, simply. Truth does not need cushioning. This does not mean you speak without compassion. It means you speak without fear. Fear distorts tone. Alignment refines it. Chosen one, your body will also guide you in this activation. Notice when you tense up. Notice when your breath shortens. These are signs you are about to shrink. Pause there. Breathe deeper. Ground yourself. Let your nervous system know you are safe to be seen. God does not rush you into expansion. He walks you into it. One moment of courage at a time. One decision to stay present. One choice not to retreat. You will also notice that as you stop shrinking, your energy changes. You feel less drained, less scattered, more focused. This is because you are no longer leaking energy through constant self-monitoring. Your attention returns to where it belongs. Another activation point is letting go of the need to be understood. This is a big one. Many chosen ones shrink because they want to be correctly perceived. But clarity does not require universal understanding. It requires integrity. Jesus was misunderstood constantly, yet he did not dilute his message. He trusted truth to reveal itself over time. You must do the same. Chosen one, you do not need to announce your expansion. You embody it. People will feel it. They will adjust or fall away. Both outcomes are alignment. In daily life, this activation may look quiet. You show up as you are. You stop hiding your gifts. You allow your presence to be felt. You stop making yourself smaller in rooms God sent you to. This is not a performance. This is a posture, and posture changes everything. As you practice this, be patient with yourself. Shrinking was learned over years. Expansion unfolds through consistency, not force. Celebrate small shifts. Staying silent when you would have over-explained. Speaking when you would have withheld. Resting when you would have pushed. Chosen one, God is not measuring your speed. He is honoring your obedience. Let your activation be gentle. Let it be grounded. Let it be real. Because when chosen ones stop shrinking, the world does not collapse. It recalibrates. And you finally begin to feel at home within yourself. Stay with me. What comes next will show you what changes when you fully step into this posture, and why the peace you are seeking has always been waiting on the other side of your alignment. Chosen one, there is one more activation that many overlook, and it is this. Allow yourself to be still without withdrawing. Many of you learned to cope by disappearing emotionally while remaining physically present. You nodded, you listened, you endured. But activation teaches you how to remain present without absorbing what is not yours. In real life, this looks like staying centered when others project. You do not rush to correct them. You do not internalize their confusion. You let their words pass through without lodging inside you. This is not detachment. This is discernment. Another sign you are activating is when you stop chasing urgency. Shrinking often comes from rushing, from feeling like you must act before the moment disappears. Alignment teaches patience. You move when prompted, not when pressured. And that steadiness becomes noticeable. You may also feel an unfamiliar calm when facing situations that once made you anxious. That calm is not indifference. It is authority settling into your body. Authority does not panic. It waits. It listens. It responds when necessary. Let me reassure you here. You are not late to your life. You are arriving. And arrival does not require dramatic gestures. It requires presence. As you continue to practice this posture, trust that God is recalibrating not just your actions, but your inner world. Old reflexes will soften, new responses will emerge, and one day soon, you will realize something profound. You are no longer trying to stop shrinking, you have simply outgrown it. When you expand, God moves. What changes after you stop shrinking? Chosen one, this is the part many of you have been waiting for without realizing it. Because after all the inner work, the awareness, the activation, something begins to shift not just inside you but around you. When you expand, God moves. Not because he was inactive before, but because your alignment creates space for movement. The first change you will notice is peace. Not the temporary calm that comes from avoiding conflict, but a deep, steady peace that remains even when things are uncertain. This peace comes from congruence. Your inner world and outer actions finally agree. You are no longer living in contradiction, and contradiction is what drains the soul. Chosen one, anxiety often fades when shrinking stops. Not because challenges disappear, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. Your energy stops being divided, and unified energy is powerful. Another change is clarity. Decisions that once felt heavy begin to feel obvious. Not easy, but clear. You stop overthinking. You stop replaying conversations. You stop questioning every step. This is not because you suddenly know everything. It is because you trust the discernment God placed within you. You will also notice that people respond differently to you. Some will feel drawn without knowing why. They will seek your presence, your insight, your steadiness. Others may quietly distance themselves. This is not loss. This is sorting. Alignment rearranges relationships naturally. When you stop shrinking, God often removes confusion by removing misalignment. You may feel space opening where tension once lived, and in that space, peace grows. Another change is momentum. Things begin to move with less force. Opportunities appear without strain. Conversations open without manipulation. This does not mean life becomes effortless. It means you are no longer pushing against your own design. Chosen one, when you expand, you stop chasing affirmation. And this changes everything. You no longer need constant reassurance. You know who you are in God. That certainty becomes attractive, not because it is loud, but because it is rare. You may also notice that your prayers change. They become less desperate and more grounded. You stop begging God to show you who you are because you are living it. Prayer becomes communion, not negotiation. Another shift is discernment sharpening. You sense when something is not aligned quickly, and instead of ignoring it, you respond. You walk away sooner. You choose differently. This saves you time, energy, and heartache. Chosen one of the most profound changes is joy returning. Not excitement. Joy. That quiet gladness that sits in your chest. Joy returns when you stop betraying yourself, when your actions honor your spirit, when you live in truth. You may also notice that fear loses its grip. Not completely. Fear still visits, but it no longer leads. You move with fear present, not fear in control. That is maturity. God also begins to trust you with more when you stop shrinking, not because you prove yourself, but because you are positioned. Alignment increases capacity, and increased capacity invites responsibility. Let me say this clearly. Expansion does not mean constant visibility. It means intentional presence. You know when to step forward and when to step back. Both are led, not reactive. Chosen one, even resistance changes. It becomes less personal. You stop internalizing opposition. You see it for what it is, a sign that you are no longer invisible. You may feel grief as well. Grief for time lost. Grief for versions of yourself that never got to fully live. Let that grief pass through. Do not cling to it. Grief is not regret when it moves. It becomes wisdom. Another change is embodiment. Your body relaxes, your breathing deepens, You sleep better. Your nervous system no longer lives in constant defense. Alignment heals the body as much as the mind. When you expand, God moves people into your life who recognize your light without trying to dim it. These connections feel easy, honest, grounded. No games, no confusion, just resonance. Chosen one, do not rush this season. Expansion unfolds naturally, like dawn, quiet, certain, unstoppable. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you always were before you learned to shrink. And as you do, God moves, not dramatically, faithfully, step by step. In the final part, I will help you anchor this truth so it stays with you, not just as inspiration, but as identity. Chosen one, there is another shift that often surprises people when they stop shrinking. Life becomes quieter inside, not empty, but ordered. The constant mental noise begins to fade. You no longer carry conversations that ended days ago. You no longer rehearse outcomes that may never happen. Your mind starts to rest. This inner quiet is not passivity. It is trust settling in. Trust that God is guiding you moment by moment. Trust that you do not need to control every detail to be safe. And when trust grows, striving dissolves. You may also notice that your timing improves. You speak when it matters. You act when it counts. You pause when needed. This discernment is not learned from books. It comes from alignment, from no longer rushing ahead or lagging behind your own spirit. Another change is how you handle disappointment. It no longer defines you. It informs you. You process it, learn from it, and move forward without bitterness. This is emotional maturity birthed through expansion. Chosen one, as you expand, God also begins to highlight what truly matters. Distractions lose their pull. You stop giving energy to things that do not grow you. Your focus sharpens, not because you are forcing discipline, but because clarity has arrived. You may feel less inclined to explain your journey to others, not out of secrecy, but because your life speaks for itself. Results do not need narration. And finally, you will notice this. You feel held, even when you are uncertain, even when the path is unfamiliar. There is a sense that you are supported by something greater than your own effort. That is God responding to your alignment. When you expand, God moves not to impress you, but to partner with you. And partnership changes everything. Stay grounded in this. You are not imagining the shift, you are living it. And this time, you are not shrinking back. Conclusion. The final reminder to the chosen one. Chosen one, let us take a moment here and breathe together. Everything you have heard was not meant to rush you, and it was not meant to overwhelm you. It was meant to remind you of who you are and why you have always felt different. You were never created to shrink, to hide, or to dim what God placed inside you. You were created to carry light with steadiness, clarity, and purpose. If something within you feels calm right now, that is alignment. If something feels stirred, that is awakening. Both are holy. Both are signs that God is speaking to you in this moment. You are not late. You have not failed, and nothing about your journey has been wasted. Every season of hiding taught you discernment. Every moment of silence strengthened your depth. And now, those lessons are becoming the foundation you stand on, not the cage you live in. Remember this truth and carry it with you. Your light does not compete. It does not force. It does not prove. It simply stands. And when it stands, God moves through it in ways you do not have to control. Go gently from here. Do not try to change everything at once. Let alignment unfold naturally. Let obedience be quiet and consistent. Trust that God is guiding you step by step, even when the path feels unfamiliar. Before you go, chosen ones, if this message resonated with your spirit, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon and share this message with other chosen ones who need this reminder. And comment 777 to declare that you are aligned, awake, and ready to walk fully in the light God has entrusted to you. Until next time, stay grounded, stay aligned, and never forget who you are.